everyone. Hope you're all doing well. Well, it's a nighttime live stream. I just had my walk, and because I gotta speak softly since it's very late at night, perhaps I pull this microphone closer to me. And I just had my walk. Today, I think, what was it? Yesterday. 31.9, okay. I think it was 8 kilometer tonight. So I thought I'll have my tea and cookies with you guys. And then I get back with some more work. So we have Aman here. Says, hey, Maran. Hello, Aman. 20 Mail India. Thank you for that. That's good. That's good. So you had a good time in that conversation with that girl. That's lovely. You know, when you talk with girls, don't look for scoring points. Like, it's not a performance. When you become too conscious of it, that I have to entertain her, I gotta say something that she would laugh, I gotta do, then it's too much pressure, and you become a theatrical, entity rather than just being yourself and genuinely trying to see if there's anything here to maybe share a common interest, bond, talk about that particular interest rather than I'm talking about this, but I want to say things that she'd like and she'd be impressed. But just talk general about what it is that you think it's important of some in regards to something, or it's not important, or just discuss. Then it becomes fun. Otherwise, you're looking for a certain result. And if you don't get that result, whatever that result is, holding a hand, kissing, getting your phone number, having her smile, having her like you, feel you think that she likes you, you think that she doesn't like, whatever result, it becomes a performance, and it becomes a bit cumbersome. It's not fun anymore because you're there hoping to receive some prize for what you're doing rather than I'm spending my time and it happens to be, a nice girl. So I'm talking to her. It's nice, talking to this girl. It's nice. That's all. When you think this way, your intentions become more pure and she's going to be more relaxed because she can feel you don't expect anything by your conversation with her. There's no necessity to come to a certain conclusion of some kind or certain agreement. She will feel comfortable and you will feel comfortable, and then you'll see what happens from there. That's all, you know? There we go. Mm, I love these ginger scones. A little bit of raisin and ginger. Pretty good stuff. So I guess it'll take a while before people realize that we're live. So in the meantime, I can have my cookie and have a chat with whoever's here. Hmm. Sonia is here. Hello, Sonia June. Good of you to join us. And she's Anand is here. He says, "Hey, Miran." Ansh 18 India says, "Why do I get jealous of my girlfriend when she's happy? Because at that time I'm not with her either. She's with her family or friends. I don't know why I get jealous. It doesn't feel right." Well, it's natural to feel jealous because because you didn't have anything to do with that happiness, and you want to be the cause of her happiness. You want to be there. You want to do something to get that kudos that it was me who brought happiness to her, because that's how we feel. We kind of want to be the cause of every good thing that is happening to our girlfriend. So the girlfriend would appreciate us and will have it's like making a deposit in the bank that you are sure that she's pleased with you. So which means your relationship with her is stronger. Because somehow at the same time, we may feel weak by constantly wanting that affirmation. And if you do something good for her, you feel like you're affirmed by her. That would mean she's going to stay with you. She's not going to leave, because you have created this need that I have to be with her, that she's so important in my life that if she's not with me, I don't feel good. So I have to make sure that it'll be exclusive and, I don't know, a long-term relationship and all these things. Once you let go of that, then you'll be happy that she's happy. That means you don't have to do the work. She's happy. Why do you have to, you know, be responsible for her happiness? Let her be responsible for her own happiness. So stop being jealous. Just be happy for her. Mm. You can see the green background wants to come in. So right here, there's like an action that over with the horse and the rider. So let me fix that. I give it a little bit of a more solidity. There we go. Now we have Arjit. He says, "I'm 20 and a woman of 42." I'm sorry. "I'm 20 and a woman of 42. Oh, broke up with me." You're 20 years old and you had a girlfriend that was 42 years old. What do you have? What do you have with a 42-year-old woman at this age? Obviously, you're there just for sex. So you should have known that a 42-year-old woman can never have a real relationship with a 20-year-old boy, because she's in a different stage of life and she has a different image of herself. She wants to create a different image in the eyes of other people. She's never going to be um, excited to be seen with you in a public place. It'll be all just hush hush and just go here and there, just have sex, and that's it. And so you should have known that this is sex. So she's going to break up with you, or you're going to have to break up with her, because from your point of view, also, what, you want to be going to parties with a 42-year-old woman and say, "This is my girlfriend"? That'll look weird for both of you. So you should have known that this is just a certain relationship for a certain reason. It's not a relationship. What do you want to do? To have children with her? Marry her? She's 42. She's had all her children she wanted to have. At that age, most women don't want to have children anymore. Some maybe, but most don't. So let's face it, it's a way of nature, and this has to happen that way. You should have broken up. You're supposed to go out with a 19-year-old, 20-year-old, 21-year-old girls, not 42 years old. For whatever reason you liked each other, well, she obviously liked you for sex. There's nothing else you could have offered her. And you probably liked her for sex too, because you're not looking for a mom. So, so, so it's all good. Just go celebrate. Now you have a chance to have been with an older woman, to know what sex is, because she probably taught you a thing or two. And now you can be a real good boyfriend for a younger girl around your age. So go, be jubilant, be happy, and appreciate the time that you had with her. Appreciate the things you learned with her. Appreciate that she let you, be intimate with her. And that was the duration that the relationship was. They're special, and you enjoyed it. She enjoyed it, but that's the duration of it. Like anything else in life, has a duration, and that was the duration of it. So enjoy it. Don't try to turn impermanent to permanent. Because when you try to turn the impermanent to permanent, that's when the suffering starts. You accept and understand that this was a lovely relationship. You enjoyed it, she enjoyed it, but it has a duration for the many reasons that, you know what? Even if he was the same age, you would have a duration. Now, this duration has come up, and you learned a lot from it, and that's it. So appreciate it and go on. Arjit says, "Sir, I have mother issues. How do I get rid of it?" Well, you just did. You just did understand that you cannot have a girlfriend and expect her to provide for you or baby you or take care of you. Eventually, you got to become a man, because if you really want to have a life and a real girlfriend and real relationship, you got to take your part as a man. You have mommy issues, well, that's your issues, but it's not supposed to come into your relationships. And it's not supposed to be the reason for you to choose an older woman that really can be your mother. I can understand sex is amazing with a 42-year-old woman because she's young for herself, but at the same time, very old for you. And she probably enjoyed you being very young. So give her lots of freshness and sexual um, energy. But at the same time, you're too young for her to do anything with you, to have a life with you, and for you to understand her. And even in a while, you wouldn't even be able to tolerate her, because there are things you want to do. You want to go play, I don't know, football or basketball or tennis, or I don't know, run around with your friends. And what? You're going to bring, what, a few years from now, she's going to be like 45 or 50. And that's still very young for her. But for you and your group, it's going to be awkward. So you want to, I got to know more about your mommy issues in detail to be able to help you. So this can't be done on a live stream. You can go on my site, mind@seekstruth.com, make a Skype appointment for us to explore what's concerning you one-on-one on Skype. I know this is the free part of my services. So we do what we can do on live stream. But when it gets a little bit in detail, it has to be an appointment. There's no way I can get around it. Otherwise, it'll be just like a one-on-one consultation show, and that's not going to work out. We try to talk about things maximum for a few minutes for every question, so we can, help everybody who is here for an hour that I'll be with you guys. And Anisha says, but on her side, that's when you said your girlfriend is happy and you're jealous when she's with her friends and family. And then Anisha adds that, but on her side, she seems very happy when I'm out with my friends, but inside me, I know I get jealous of her. How to get away from this? Well, she gets very happy because you're probably very demanding and maybe childish like, that you want to be around her all the time, crowding her space. And so when you're out with your friends, she's happy. So, oh, okay, I'm glad he's happy and I'm free. And, she likes you, but at the same time, liking someone doesn't mean that you want him around or her around 100% of the time. You want to have your own other things that you're interested to do. It's like saying you like to play guitar, but that's great. That's your favorite, but not necessarily you want to play or hear guitar all the time, 24/7. There are sometimes you want to hear other music, or the real orchestra or piano or in different music. Just doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that just because you like something, you got to be around it all the time. It's like you say, I like this food, but you don't want to eat it 24/7 all the time, 7 days a week. That's your favorite. But you do want to have other interests, like she maybe wants to go run, or she really wants to be active in her job or her business or her studies or other friends. So understand this, otherwise you're going to get hurt. And nobody can tolerate you because you expect too much, and nobody's willing. Doesn't matter how much they love you, they don't want to give all their time to you because they have other things that makes them feel alive. It's a combination. Part of it is relationship, but the other part is other things that they're interested to advance themselves, expand and learn and experience and so on. Manav says, sir, my HOCD is forcing me to tell your parents and your girlfriend you're gay. If you're gay, you would know it, but you're not gay because you call it HOCD and you see it's not your choice. You don't want to be. And this is something you have to understand. This is what HOCD does. It makes a person to think that they're gay, so they have to come out. They have to tell everybody. You can tell your parents, but you can tell what you also have found out what it is rather than scare the shit out of them, because obviously it's not something that is so uh, understood or expected from everybody. So you can tell them that this is what I'm going through. This is what I've done to learn what it is. I need to see a psychologist to understand the movement of the brain and the malfunction of the brain, because some people are homosexual, some people are heterosexual, but they all get HOCD. And doesn't matter what gender you are. And the ones who are homosexual, they feel uncomfortable to come and say that they're not. And they be convinced with their brain that they're heterosexual, which they don't want to be. And the ones who are heterosexual, they don't want to be forced by the brain and suggestion of the brain to tell everybody that they are not heterosexual, that they're homosexual, because that's not really what they are. And so it is important for you, when you want to discuss it with your girlfriend or with your parents, to talk about the malfunction and disorder of OCD and OCD subsets. And then one of them would be pedophile OCD, harm OCD, responsibility OCD, HOCD. And these are what you should share, not just, I think I'm gay. Because if you were, you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be questioned. You wouldn't be, not excited about it. So, Babu Rao says, hi, Meran, 19 Nepal. It's been 2 years my breakup, and I never texted my ex back. And I was expecting my ex text on festival to wish, but she didn't text. And now feeling hurt. Please help. 2 years you broke up and you're expecting text? What's wrong with you? What the hell is wrong with you? What do you want? You think the whole world has opened his ass and she's falling out, and unless you're with her, there's no meaning to life? What's wrong with you? It was a relationship. You enjoyed it. You learned something. You experienced it. Then now you're broke up for 2 years, and you're just 19 years old. That means from 17 that you hardly knew where your ass is, where your mouth is, let alone know what kind of girl you like to be your girlfriend. 17-year-old. We all fall in love with different girls, different age, 15, 16, 17, 18, and it all has a duration. Then you fall out of love, or you realize there's somebody better, and then you like that girl. These are all, how these sort of things happen in life. You're not supposed to think every girl that you fall in love is the girl that you should be with the rest of your life. No, just enjoy it and learn it, communicate, and spend time together, and then you'll see how you grow together or grow apart. You grow apart, you naturally will end up breaking up. You grow together, you naturally will end up getting closer. And if it's not happening, you can't force it to get closer. So 2 years ago, you broke up with her at 17. Hmm? 2 years ago at 17, you broke up with her. It says this way. And now means what? You knew her for a year at age 16. What do you, at that age, 16, 17, 18, 19, you hardly know who you are, what you are all about, let alone know what kind of girl you want. But at this age, you've got so much hormone and want to have, intimacy and have a girlfriend, and all that doesn't let you even see what kind of girlfriend you need to have. Are you compatible with her? Can you guys really see life and the movement of life in similar field of vision? So it's perfectly fine that you're not with her, expecting her to call you. What happens? Oh, hello, how are you? Congratulations or whatever. Big deal. If it was working, you guys wouldn't be separated. Now that you're separated, you want her to call you or text you, say hello. What? Move on. And Babu says, thank you so much, Miran. Love from Nepal. Love from Canada as well. Just be good to yourself. Don't be such a baby. Oh, I need to be with her to feel good about myself. No, go study, go get a good job, go find something you love to do and accomplish your task and make somebody special out of yourself by researching, by learning, by educating yourself, being a good person. And then that gives you that confidence and value that you're looking for, and to be proud of yourself. Then you will have any girl that likes you or you like her, then you decide. Then, not basically, I have to have a girlfriend to feel good about myself. No, feel good about yourself by your accomplishments in life. And Arjit Gupta says, I asked her once. Oh, did you already? Let's see, where are we? Ah, Arjit says, sir, she's my ex-English teacher. We had an emotional relation. Actually, I feel she used me to give her sympathy, listen to her. She said all the time that I understood her better than anyone else. Yeah, she's a stupid, dumb shit, thinking 20-year-old boy understands her 42-year-old existence better than anybody else. So obviously, she's having fun with you, and maybe she meant it. That's how it made her feel. But so what? Doesn't mean that all other things are also falling in place. She was okay while it lasted, so it finished. And understood her better than anyone else. And I asked her once, would you stay with me when I am established in my life, probably in 2028? Arjit, are you fucking out of your mind? 2028 is about 6 years from now. 6 years from now, she's 60, she's 46 years old, and you're what? 26-year-old? What the fuck you want to do for her? Hmm? What? Do you think it's going to be fair to her when you're 36? She's going to be 46? She's going to be what? 6 years from now, she's like 48. So you're going to be 36. She's going to be 58 years old, 36, and she's going to be 58 years old, and you're going to hang around her? Or you're going to leave her for a younger girl, and she's going to be living her life at that age, just starting to look for someone? That's not fair to her. And there's no way in hell you would stay with her at that age, especially if you're established and have a business and have money, and all the other girls are looking for qualified guys with money who's young, who's also young. And you're going to think that now that you're going to remember today that you need a mommy. No, you're going to run along and you're going to leave her behind. And that's not going to be fair for her. So you just enjoy the time that you had with her for whatever reason. She used you and you used her too. Well, who would look at you with such, maybe she's so beautiful and put together at that age with that way of, that she could take care of you or handle you. You needed that, so you got that benefit of how she was. That's what you needed. But now it's over. So perfect. Not a problem. It's good for her. It's good for you. So you asked her if she would stay with you if you get established somewhere. Will you stay with me? She said, I don't like living with people, Archie. Yeah, she's right. At that age, she's been alone for so long, probably. She's not going to be now living with a guy, a 28-year-old, and she's like 48-year-old. I mean, she's not that stupid. This was something she needed and something you needed, and it's fine. Okay, done. Move along. Don't push this at all. This is a very bad idea. So go on. Just be happy if you had that experience with her, and that's it. Go. Next. Ajit says, she blocked me from everywhere because she said, don't attach yourself too much with me, because she's still uncertain about divorce. She's not even divorced. Okay. And I shouldn't wait for her and get a girlfriend, see the beautiful things in life. She's right. So she's being who she should be, a role model to you, to guide you to go on and find a girlfriend close to your age and enjoy life. You are infatuated with her authority and her age and experience and maturity, and maybe her looks and her body. And the fact that she's older than you, you feel grown up if you're with an older woman. But she understands that this is something you need, but it's not something practical. So she's telling you, no, go. And since you were stupid enough not to listen to her, then she blocked you, and more power to her. And Arjit says, I don't know, sir. I have so much of motherly love for her, even if I get a day to be with her. No. Stop that bullshit. She doesn't need you, and you owe her nothing. You think your loyalty would be to take care of her. She doesn't want you to take care of her. Right? Understand that. She has no need for you. She's fine. She's protected. She can take care of herself. She can take care of herself better than you can take care of herself. You owe her nothing. She doesn't need you to take care of her. She's not in any danger. She's protected. She's fine, and she's safe and secure. So rest assured, you don't owe her. You have no responsibility towards her. So don't bring this kind of excuse for her. I have motherly love. What do you mean motherly love? Are you going to fuck your mother? What motherly love? It's not motherly love. It's a sexual attraction that she happens to be older and give you that feeling of psychological security because she's mature and she can guide you for the things you don't know what to do. And you want to hang on to her and ruin her life and your life just because you can't handle your life yourself. Go and learn and educate yourself. This is the time for you to educate yourself. Many people lose their mother from childhood. Now you have mother issues. Well, what about billions of other people who have such problems? So grow up, go study, get your education, what it is that you should do at this age, get a job and become good at what you do, love what you do, and then make money, provide for yourself, and be in a good economical position, and then you will see there's so many girls at your age understand you and would be, happy to get to know you, and you will choose based on their qualifications and compatibility with them, not based on your need that you need someone that you can take care or they can take care of you. No. So stop this nonsense and move on with providing for yourself, learning, educating yourself, get experience and get a job, and so on and so forth. Let's end this now conversation, because that's you should know better at this age now. You should know better. That's a wrong approach. Finish it. Done. And she did the right thing to block you. Obviously, your brain is not working right now. So go count your stars that she did that. Move on. Okay. Lucy says, Mehran, did you have at OCD in the past? Oh, yeah, all kinds of it. Are you kidding me? All kinds of it. Kashan says, how to overcome OCD magical thinking? The same other way that I've explained what OCD is. First of all, don't believe that OCD has any logic behind it, has any truth behind it. It's a malfunction of the brain. It's the way you want to create some kind of a psychological security for yourself and to feel safe and secure. So you start dealing with some unseen powers, which you hope that they will actually uphold your efforts of, I don't know, thinking something magical, then it is magical. If you touch the light switch 50 times, or something good will happen, or something bad will not happen. All these are things that you convince yourself, and you hope to create that safety and security, psychological security for yourself. And because there's no sure way to do it, you create this kind of fictitious bartering and dealing with some kind of invisible powers that you want to rely on and feel safe by having. That will protect you by doing all these crazy things, such as going over the four corners of a tile in the street or somewhere. It's all things that the brain gets used to, and after a while doesn't even know what the fuck is using it for. It's just got into a habit of it. I've explained Dr. Schwartz's presentation in regards to neuroscience of habits, and I have described that, what it means, and the experience that Dr. Anne Grable with her postgraduate studies student, I think it was Carl Smith, I believe, who did the experiment in rats that they're trained in certain way, and after so long they not responding to the bell to do a certain action, they're responding to the award that they receive after they do the action, which gives them the dopamine. So no longer their compulsion is because of the what's the word for it? Obsession. It is now for getting that dopamine because it makes them feel good as a reward. And then after thousands of times doing, hundreds of times doing that, no longer they're doing it for dopamine either. It goes into their habit center, and they're doing it for habit. They don't even remember why they're doing it. They just do it because it's their habit. And that becomes very difficult to get rid of, because the habit center and reward center, they're all right on top of each other in the midbrain called the striatum. And so the every time you get the reward, dopamine is secreted, and that getting the dopamine encourages you to continue until it actually seeps into the habit center, and then it becomes a habit. No longer you're doing it for dopamine or the obsession, you're just doing the compulsion because it's your habit, and that becomes difficult. Then you have got to connect that to your health situation in order to be able to kick out of it. The research shows that when they actually stimulate the part of the brain that it which is in relation to the health of the person. I don't exactly remember the experiments, but the general idea of it, then it will kick that habit out. at least for a while. So it is important for you not to let some OCD become a habit. Once it becomes a habit, you're not doing it for any psychological reason anymore. You're just doing it because it's your habit. And then you got to focus on the effect of this behavior to your health. And then for the reasons of health, you'd be able to kick that habit out of your system. In short, there's a lot more to it. I've got videos that elaborately explain that, so you may want to watch those. Yeah, if whatever you're thinking seems like coming true is not really true. But there's certain amount of focus you pay attention to, and you do certain things that provides a pathway to get that certain result. And you think because you thought of it, you got the result. No, because you did the certain actions that would lead to that result because you were so focused and wanted to bring that to fruition, and therefore it did come to fruition. But it's got nothing to do with magical thinking. You go crazy if you think that you can sit down and think of something and it'll happen for you because your thoughts are magical, if that's what you mean. Otherwise, once you sit down and think about you got $1 million in the bank, since it will ever come or not, it will never happen because there's no such a fucking thing as magical thinking. You can focus and meditate and encourage yourself and be adamant and disciplined and persevere and get things done, but it's got nothing to do with magic. Anyhow, Hussein says, sir, my message is on up. Oh, really? Where is it? Okay. Hussein says, hello, sir. 19 male India. 3 months ago, breakup happened, but didn't know. Mind sometimes thinks she's so much beautiful. She's not that much beautiful, but still how to stop this due to this I feel anxiety. Well, at your age 19, any girl looks beautiful because every one of them turn you on. There's something about them, their nose, their smile, their eyes, their hair, their breasts, their legs, their butt, whatever it is that, we're visual. Men are visual. We're visual. And we see something pretty, well, it turns us off. And then because it turns you on, it turns us on. And because it turns you on, you think that, oh, she's the right one. So you keep then thinking about her because you believe she's the right one. And when you keep thinking about it, it becomes your habit. When it becomes your habit, you will feel that it's a sin if I don't like her now. You think it's a betrayal if you stop liking what you've always praised and loved, because you have created this kind of a emotion and this kind of a belief in your brain, and you're following your belief like you create a religion for yourself. You create a God for yourself, and you keep praying it to it. And after a while, you fall in a habit of believing that this is why things are happening for you because you're praying. While if you just pray and not do the actions that you need to do, nothing good will happen for you. But when you pray and do the actions that you got to do, well, you've got motivation, you got determination, you got focus and perseverance, and you'll get the good results. And you think, oh, because I prayed. Well, the same thing here. You keep liking the girl, loving the girl, and think that then after a while you think it's a sin if you don't love her. And that feeling of guilt that you're abandoning your sacred love, you're abandoning your goddess, you're abandoning your your holy woman that you die for, then it becomes a habit, a certain kind of a religion. Don't let it to be like that. She's a human being, and if she's complying, she's having compatible values with you, then fine, you'll go on together, see what happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So this particular girl broke up with you 3 months ago. What the fuck you're hanging around for at age 19? Go find somebody else. If you don't find somebody else, just mosey on out about your life and accomplish what you have to accomplish at that age, and then there will be other girls that will come around and come along. This was nothing to write to home about. If there was, it wouldn't be break up. It wouldn't be broken up. So you're telling yourself that you have anxiety. What do you have anxiety? What happens? You're worried about, oh, something I love, somebody else is gonna fuck her. That's what the anxiety is all about. So I don't give a fuck who fucks her. She's not for me. I don't give a shit about her anymore. Why? Because I did give a shit about her. I offered myself to her. She decided to break up with me. So then fuck it. What do you want to do? Who is she that you're supposed to die for her? Who? What has she accomplished in this life that she's such an amazing star of your life? And she's the, I don't know, what? What has she done? If she feeds the children, she's the reason for the health of the elderly. She's brought balance to the universe. She's brought a common cure or to cold or what? What has she accomplished that she's so unforgettable? Remember what I always said. If this wheel doesn't turn for me, I don't care if it turns at all. I don't care how beautiful she is. If her beauty and attention is not for you, who gives a shit how wonderful she is? It's not for you. So if it's not for you, you've got nothing to do with it. Go on, move on, somebody else. You're too young for this nonsense anyhow. You got to go through these emotions and motions and learn and become a little bit tough, and then you'll be able to select better when you are ready. Until then, these are all just experiences, and this relationship and next relationship, enjoy it, learn it from, and then go on. And then eventually, when you're ready, you'll find somebody that has got a lot more in common for you, both sides, both of you, and then you guys will make something out of it. And if that didn't work, then okay, next. Life doesn't end because she stays with you or she leaves. Life continues, and you must continue swimming. You got to be a good captain, regardless of the condition of the ocean. You got to be able to keep your boat from capsizing. That means experienced captain, not go up and down because, oh, today is wavy. I can't handle this. It has to be smooth so I can, row properly. No. She stays with you, fine. She doesn't stay with you, okay, a little bit difficulty, but then you can handle it. That's a good captain. And rest of the stuff in life. Dusty says, hello, my friend. Hello, Dusty. And have you guys liked the program? Make sure you like the program. Only 5 of you? There are 12 people here. Only 5 of you? Come on. Get your asses moving and click on that like button. 7. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's all you can do. This is how you support the channel. God damn it. I need 5 more likes before I open my mouth and say anything. I'll keep drinking my tea. God damn it. It's about what? 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm here sitting and chatting with you guys, and you can't fucking push that button. You're going to piss me off. Be afraid when I get pissed off. Come on, push that goddamn button. There's 9 of you. And there's 1 thumbs down. That's glorious. Well, if you give me a thumbs down, what are you doing here? Move out. What are you doing here? Just to show the one who thumbs down, just some rest of you thumbs up. Right away. Bring more. I'd like to know who's the person who is here for no reason, just to get thumb down. Thumb down to what we were talking about? Oh, Jesus. All right. let's move on. I guess we've got all kind of people. Who else is here? We got Kashan. No, before that we have. Okay, thank you guys for supporting. We have now 12 people, one thumb down, and 11 thumbs up. Well, it's a good response to the thumb down guy, whoever the hell he is. All right. AVG 1999 says, I have dated someone for 3 months. Ended, not really. What? Ended, not really. Well, you ended after, for what? You dated someone for 3 months and ended it, but not ended it well. But I'm still thinking about him. And for 6 months, is it normal? Well, everything is normal. But let me know your age and where you're tuning in from, your gender. You give me that info, please. I'll get back to you as soon as I have that. Age, gender, where you're tuning in from. That's the least I want to have. Simona Alexiejute. Alexiejute? I hope I'm not butchering your name. Simona. Guys, why do you guys forget constantly to tell me age, gender, where you're tuning in from? Before every comment or question, I need to have that. 3 little code. M, put gender or F or whatever, however you signify your gender. Age, and where you're tuning in from, which country, which city. And those 3 little things gives me a lot to work on, at least to know who I'm talking with and in what way and how to connect and all that. So, Simona, I need that before I read your question, please. Mike says, where's Mike? Mike, that's the first question I have from you. Says, I was talking about HOCD, but before that, I don't have any message from you. That's your first message. And I don't have your age, gender, or where you're tuning in from. That should be in your first comment. And then I was talking about HOCD. Doesn't make sense to me because that's your first message. So fix that up. I'll get back to you. Jimmy Toe says she's just human beings. New quote. Yeah, that's right. And Jimmy Toe says special stick weapon for who dislikes video. Yeah, with the content that we have here, whoever dislikes the video should pretty much tune out and go to another channel. What are you doing here? Zimona says, I'm a 17-year-old female from Lithuania. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate that. And Alvaro tried to say good morning, Mehran, but I guess the auto-correct spelling changed my name to capital of Iran, Tehran. Hello, Alvaro. Good morning to you as well. Remind me age, gender, and where you're tuning in from. So, Zimona, a 17-year-old from Lithuania, says, let's go first to AVG because I now hear from him. He says 22 years old and gay men. So you're male, 22-year-old, and you are gay. Says from the Netherlands. Sorry for my bad English. No, your English is fine. Let's go to your question. Simona says, hey, Miran, my false attraction are getting weak. I'm a female with HOCD. Okay, I'm confused now. But I feel like I'm not myself, and I feel like this is a different reality. How do I deal with that, with this? And then Simona adds, oh, no, that's AVG. Oh, okay, I'm making a mix up here. Sorry about that. We got to go to AVG from Netherlands. Okay, let's go to AVG. Where's AVG? Ah, there it is. So AVG is male 22 and he's gay. And he says, I have dated someone for 3 months, ended and ended it, but not really well. But I'm still thinking about him for 6 months. Is this normal? Yeah, well, every breakup, you've spent some time with someone and you have gotten to bond on consciousness level or some intimate experiences. And so naturally, that has become part of the order of your life. Through the certain mechanical processes that we each engage during the day, whether it's your work or your studies, whether it's your friends or activities, whether it's your relationship and texting each other during the day and afterwards seeing each other, maybe going to the gym or cinema or whatever it is that you guys do, the two people have created a certain kind of a routine in their life. And that routine turns into the order of their life. So things that you do individually and with your partner end up forming a routine, and that routine ends up being the order of your life. In that order, you find psychological security, which is unattainable, but at least you feel like you have a certain discipline in your life, certain way that your mind is occupied with certain things to be accomplished, and that brings that kind of a mental security. So when you break up, now the person that was involved in sharing certain activities during the day, the mechanical processes that ends up creating the routine, which ends up creating the order in life, is no longer there. So part of the things that you were accustomed to do, you're not possible to do it again, which means the routine based on the mechanical processes, the things that you would do during the day, is not forming. When they don't form, the order of your daily life is broken. When the order is broken, you're constantly looking for that order that doesn't exist anymore. So what you do, you go into your memory, because the mind finds security in the order of life. And that order is not created in the reality and actuality of life. So you go into your memory, because in the memory, the recording of the order and how things were during your daily life is still there. So there is an order in the memory. So you go into the memory and you think about how things were, and you find security in that order. While you're in there, you see your partner also being part of that memory. And then you think that because your partner is in the memory and you're in the memory, you're reminded of the activities and the relationship, and the desire to be with that partner rekindles itself, because the prerequisite for desire to be formed is also recorded in the memory. And all those steps that needed for the desire to be born is also recorded in the memory. And while you're in the memory, trying to look for the order and feel calm and secure, you see the partner and you see the things that are already recorded as part of prerequisites of the desire to be born. And then, since the brain does not recognize any difference between virtuality and actuality, then the brain starts forming the desire again. And then you think you're missing your partner. But in fact, if you understand this is virtual, and you go on with your life and accomplish other new and find new mechanical processes and create new routines by the things that you're interested to do and create new order, then no longer your mind will go into the memory to find the order, because there's a new order created by you every day according to the new things you found interesting to you. And then you will be having an easier time to move on and forget about whatever that is no longer part of your life. I hope that was helpful to you. And we now go to Simona. But before that, let me just open the window. I'll be right back. Give you guys a little break. You can check this out until I'll be right back. Subscribe on my channel, visit my channel, and go through the videos that you might be interested in. Mind@seekstruth.com is making it one step away to talk to me one-on-one on Skype and discuss what concerning you. I'll talk to you soon. Well, we too, like the iceberg, have 1,000 times bigger powers that is not visible, and we must. Why? Is it something we're rambling on and I expect you to accept it? Or is there actually another power within us? Would you come and help me out? Okay. What I want you to do is put your hands underneath my arms and just lift me up. There we go. Okay, now, that's my physical part, right? Same thing, again, with that. Just want to see if there's any difference. Go ahead. Now, go ahead. Now, this, go ahead, when you're ready.
Go ahead.
So you see, this is different than what he was doing, and I'm not really doing anything. You convinced?
Yeah.
So are you guys convinced that there is something other than, thank you.
Yeah, no
Thank you very much. Okay, and we're back. So where were we? We are going to Simona. Where are you, Simona? Simona is Simona is 17-year-old female from Lithuania. And Simona says, hey, Miran, my false attractions are getting weak. I'm a female with HOCD. But I feel like I'm not myself. And I feel like this is a different reality. How do I deal with this? Well, bring your attention to the moment. Instead of thinking about the experience and the confusion and all these things that you had to learn and educate yourself and help your brain to rewire itself through neuroplasticity, through the way you react to the thoughts that the brain makes, forget about all that for every moment. Instead of looking at it in that way, bring your focus to the moment, to very moment that you're doing whatever it is you're doing. For example, if you're drinking tea, you focus fully on the tea. Is tea, what color it is, what taste, the smell. All these senses and sensories come to picture, and bring full focus to what you're doing, which your efforts in the moment brings you to the present moment rather than other things that the brain is constantly conjuring up or trying to focus on, because it's capable of focusing on so many things at any different tangent. So live life day by day, moment by moment, and bring your full focus on the efforts you make in every moment. In Aikido, we call that keeping one point. Keeping one point is when mind is mindful of the center of gravity of the body, and mind and body both are focused on the same focal point, which means mind and body are together, moving together. That's when you manifest your total power, your total energy, your total focus, your total physical and mental power. It will be an entity which is not separated from the body or the mind. It just becomes one entity. And that's when you manifest your total power. That's when actually that student could not lift me up in second time, because I'm the same mass. Nothing happened that moment from one moment to the next. But the focus of the mind to bringing my presence and my focus and attention to the moment that I'm making an effort in it, then it gave me a physical presence and mental presence. And the physical and mental presence together became whole. And that whole became one part of the universe, which is the actuality and the reality. And that universe is bigger than any one of us who can lift that up. When you become one with the nature, then you are totally one with, you manifest your total powers. So there are many good things about focusing in the moment. One is that your mind will not flow away to places that it brings so many things that is not necessary for you to focus on, like in this case, OCD, HOCD, or whatnot, or the problems that we all face in life. We can come into the moment and be focused and do a good job in whatever it is we want to accomplish, rather than be distracted by other things in our head. Because you can't stop. The brain is going to be making all kinds of thoughts anyhow. So might as well just focus on the moment that you're trying to spend your full attention and accomplish something in it. So that focus and awareness of the moment and being present in the moment will help you to constantly train your brain to be involved in what it is that you want it to be involved, rather than it constantly go into all these things that it has conjured up in the past or present, or worries about it in the future. Hopefully that is some kind of help to you, Simona. Mike says 16 Nepal was saying about HOCD. Okay, Mike, I don't know what you really mean, because the first message that I have from you, it says I was talking about HOCD. What about that? I don't know what specifically you mean, but we just talked about some of it. There's so many videos on my channel about HOCD, so you can watch those if you like. Oh, you commented me on a video. I haven't had the chance to read it, or I don't remember it, Mike. It's not like when I come here, I have all those thousands and hundreds of comments on the videos. I have it with me. I'm here to answer those. This is a live stream. So if I get to that and if I have a chance to answer it, I will. Otherwise, the concept of HOCD and OCD, I've got hundreds of videos on it. Please go search for it and find it. Don't keep writing me something that is the answer is already provided in the videos. Kind of give me a little breather. Otherwise, I'm sitting here typing all day long. You have a specific question or things that concerns, you can go on my site, mindthatseekstruth.com. Make an appointment for us to discuss what's concerning you one-on-one on Skype. And that is fine. But here, I can't be, doing that. Whatever I could, I'll do it on the comments. But if not, short answers and questions here. But I can't go on through completely, explaining the videos that I've already made just to answer a question here. I'm sure you understand the time is limited here. And Mike says, you talked to me. Yeah, I don't remember, Mike. I'm sure I did. Alvaro says, good morning, Meran. Alvaro says, I'm from London, 29-year-old. Thank you for that. And AVG says, thank you very much. You're quite welcome, dear. Zlapi says, Tehran, my favorite therapist. or city. But my name is not Tehran. It's Mehran, and I'm not a therapist. All right. Uh, MBG Army says, is having OCD unlucky? No, not at all. In fact, people who have OCD or subsets of OCD, they're actually above average intelligent. That's what the research shows. And Lucky Dude says, sir, I have a thought which says I belong to a different nationality, and this is bothering me. Well, do a spit test and see if where your DNA comes back from. I did mine, and I found out I've got some percentage of I don't know if I remember Viking, some German, or am I mistaken? I have to look at it again. It's been a long time, and I think I have some percentage of black race, which most humans on Earth have, because we apparently they say the birth of humanity started in Africa, so we all have some kind of a percentage there. But I have to look at my records. So it's all over, mostly Persian, and then I've got some percentage of different things: Viking, German, Black African. I don't know. Maybe I'm totally wrong on all counts, but I'll look at it again. I have the file. So you can do that and find out what nationality you are, and then you can, rest assured that it is or it is not. But who cares? What difference does that make? We still all have more things in common than differences, all human beings, from no matter where you've been born. And he says, I know this sounds stupid, but I don't know how to deal with this. How should I not react to a thought? Because thought is bullshit. Because thought is not you. Because what makes thought, the brain, is not you. Brain makes thoughts 80, 90,000 times a day. And if brain itself is not you, you're not the brain, how could what the brain makes to be anything to do with you? Is irrelevant to you. It's what the brain makes. It's not what you make. So you got to get that straight. Aman says, how to stop getting deep self-conscious while around girls? Because when you're with girls, you're trying to accomplish something. You're trying to score something. You're trying to win a result of some kind. You have an agenda. Don't have an agenda. Don't have an accomplishment. Just be with them. It's a new friend. It's a girl. It's wonderful. You learn about her. You talk with her about what you like, what she likes. And don't try to say, I got to say something that she would like, or say something that she would like me. I got to score a point. No, just don't have an agenda. Just be there as a human being. And if something happens later on, then great. Otherwise, that will make you self-conscious about, what you're doing, what you should be doing, and all that. Simona says, thank you very much. You're quite welcome. Simona says, now this video has 0 likes. Really? This video? Are you kidding me? Let's see. No. I have 18 likes here. Simona, what are you talking about? Hussein Lightwala says, sir, how you manage your breakup in past? Just short explanation. It's very difficult to have a short explanation because I somehow gave more importance to my duties and continuation of my journey in life than have it to be stopped or permanently interrupted by a breakup. Breakup is part of life. Breakup is part of a relationship. You separate these two and you think it's a disaster. Breakup is part of the flow of this river of life. Life is a river, and this river is continuously moving and flowing. In this flow, many new things happen. And if there is a rock, well, the water goes over and around it, but continues moving forward. Otherwise, it spills up, fills up, and spills out from the banks of the river and just makes a mess. Same thing. You're going through life, it's a journey, and you have a relationship, great. You build something, accomplish something. For one reason or another, right or wrong, somebody or both of you or one of you decide to break up. Well, that's part of this journey, but it's not supposed to end the journey. It's part of this whole journey that's going to continue to get somewhere. On the way to get to wherever it's supposed to end up and going, how this journey will unfold itself, on its way, there are many things happen. Some of the things is the breakup. Some of it is a relationship, start a relationship. One of it is end of a relationship. And that's all normal part of life. You can't treat end of a relationship as end of life. Just like you don't think beginning of a relationship is the complete success of the experience of life. It's just one event. You do your best. If it worked, great. If it didn't, you still got to have accomplishments that you're eager to make. If you have other plans, and you can be sure that there's more abundance of opportunities after a breakup, there's going to be other relationships as exciting as when this one started and how excited you were. And there will be other ones that you will be excited about those as well. So the end of a relationship is not end of an opportunity. It's end of this relationship, beginning of next opportunity. And you think of it that way, you will see, but there is no reason to stop anything. You'll be sad for a while, but that's okay. With the hope of all other opportunities to show themselves, you'll go on and you'll be happy again. And this will happen whether you want it or not. So, and if you have children, well, that's even more reason for you to be powerful and accomplish yourself, because you still got to be a good father. And attend to your duties. All right, now let's go on to Zlapi. Says, I know that your name is Mehran, but I thought it was funny. Yeah, it sure was. That someone in this chat called you Tehran. Yeah, they did. And he says, yeah, I'm bored today. Are you? Alvaro says, Mehran, following a recent breakup, I now have the feeling that one needs to go into a relationship already knowing it will end. And this is a rather strange feeling. What advice have you got about that? Well, you pay attention to the end of the relationship when the end of the relationship presents itself. But during the relationship, you pay attention to the relationship as it is flowing. You cannot be thinking and concerned about something that has not happened. It's like saying, well, I know I'm going to die someday in life, because we all die at one time or another when we get old, preferably very old. So might as well let me think about death right now. Why? When that happens, okay, then that's what happened. Then I'll see if I can deal with it or have to go through with it one way or another. But there's no sense for me that when I'm talking to you guys and enjoying myself and trying to accomplish or research or learn something or whatever it is that I want to accomplish, but thinking about the end of my life. What the fuck is that good for? So I don't need to focus on whatever that eventually is going to happen, because I really don't know when it's going to happen. And when it does happen, then that would become a concern, because that would be a reality. But right now, it's not a reality. So why should I be focused on something that is not versus on focusing on what it is? So I'm leaving what it is to focus on what is not. What kind of a fucking life is that? So same thing here. A relationship is a relationship. It ends, okay, when it ends, then I'll deal with it if it ends. But I don't know when it ends. And maybe it wouldn't, and maybe it would. But why should I not focus on what I should be doing for the relationship right now and enjoying it and being the best I can be, and how to deal with it and how to expand with it, how to enjoy it, and instead thinking about when it ends, when it hasn't. That's kind of a waste of energy and waste of whatever else you want to call it. Yeah. So I hope that makes sense to you. Chuckster. Oh, Chuckster is here. Okay, Chuckster, I poured my tea before you got here, so you couldn't have heard it anywhere. So don't give me that. 37 male, PA, Pennsylvania. Thank you very much. Since you always forget. Okay, I appreciate that. Very kind of you. So I forget that I was going to ask. Oh, did you now? So I pretty much have nothing for you, but it's nice to see you. Okay, good of you to join us, and thank you for the energy and kindness to be here, Chuckster. You're welcome to be here. And yeah, definitely right, Chuckster. Not at the moment. I have no desire to visit. Rahul. Zimona says, sorry, I meant dislike. Oh, yeah. Okay, you're right. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, we've got, luckily, no dislike on this one. We've got 19 likes, and that's what I like. Very good. Good. All right. So that means you were in the previous one too, Zimona, weren't you? And okay. Zlopi says, by the way, I went no contact on my last breakup. Best thing I ever did. Got great advice from you, Mehran. Well, delighted that the live talks and words or videos are helpful to you. And thank you for sharing. And Fiesta, oh, hang on. Before Fiesta, we have Rahul. Rahul is here. He says, hi, sir, 34 male, India. A few days, I feel better. And one day, I feel very low and lost. I try to keep myself moving, but at certain time, I feel it's very difficult to be alone. How should I cope with this? Well, you feel low, down, this and that, because you're focused on something that has changed rather than focusing on things that you can change. You're focusing on the fact that your wife left, and you're waiting for a kind of a conclusion on that in order to set you on the road towards what it is that you want to accomplish, instead of just being on the road and continuously accomplishing what you want to accomplish in life. And whether or not she comes back or not, that's irrelevant. You still got a job to do. You're still a father, and you still got to provide for yourself and for your child, and even help the mother if you can, whenever. But you also got to advance in order to find another possibility, and maybe you find another woman and marry, and so on and so forth. Life continues. It's not going to be stopped just because she decided not to be part of it anymore, or she decided that you're good or bad, or whatever reason she has, and she just has made that decision for her. That's her whatever the word is. Prerogative. But you are not supposed to stop your life just because that is her decision. Well, that's her decision, and you respect that. That's why you stayed away. But you got to respect yourself too, and move on with your life. And so I keep myself moving, but a certain time they feel very difficult. Yeah. Again, because your mind is not with your body. Instead of you have your mind and body both focused on the same direction and move toward accomplishing what it is that you're supposed to accomplish in your life, your mind is separated from where you are. Your mind is where the girl is, the wife is, and what she's doing, what she's done, and why she did that. Your mind is already somewhere else occupied with that. Obviously, you cannot have coordination of mind and body. Your body wants to accomplish things and go through life and attend to its duties. Your mind is somewhere else. So that separation, and it makes you feel low energy, uncomfortable, insecure, and so on. Bring your mind where your body is and focus on both, to put them to work towards what it is that you want to accomplish on that day. Be in the moment and with the efforts that you're making in order to accomplish whatever it is that you want to accomplish. So the mind and body would be coordinated and together in the same place. Then your life becomes actuality. Your life becomes more manageable. Your life becomes more positive because you will see results of your actions in the moment, and the moment will constantly bring you more fruits of your labor, because you will realize they're accomplishing things, and then that'll bring your mood up. You'll be happier because you're advancing your life with the efforts that you're making on it. All right, so mind and body coordination is where the things will happen. Hussein says, thank you so much. I'm 19. Just for motivation, I asked you the question that how you had moved on from your past breakup. Okay, no problem. 19, you shouldn't even worry about that. Come on, let me get my ugly stick. You guys are familiar with the ugly stick? Whoever is not nice and good and understanding to itself is going to meet my ugly stick. And this ugly stick, you're very lucky that there are no flights happening easy for people. Otherwise, I would have come around, beat you all in the head with that ugly stick, provided you get your motorcycle helmet on so you won't get damaged. Now I can't travel, so therefore you guys are all safe, but still be good to yourselves. And Zlapi says, okay, what else? Okay, Fiesta Ananel says, hello sir, I'm a bit worried about myself. Fiesta, I need age, gender, where you tuning in from. Before I read your question, I need to know your gender, age, and where you're tuning in from. Okay? And I'll be back to you. The Unstoppable Force, say Brandon, 25, London, England, male, 182 centimeter tall. He says, I talk to myself and imagine things in my mind. So far, so good. As long as you don't respond to yourself, you're safe. But when you talk to yourself and you also respond to yourself, then we got to see somebody. I also wake up and down. I also walk up and down whilst I do this. Yeah, you're impatient and you got busy mind. What mental disorder would you diagnose this? First of all, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a psychotherapist. I cannot diagnose anything. I have no medical credentials to diagnose anything. But if you were asking me as a friend and someone who has researched some stuff and understands the movement of mind in my own level and my own research and, the way I've written my books and so on, I would answer you as a layman, not as any specialist or psychologist, because I'm not. When you talk to yourself and you imagine things in your mind, the first recommendation I have is to see your doctor and your psychologist and ask them this question. Until you do, which their answer would be the one that you should be focused on, not mine. But in my mind, obviously you have a repetitive thinking happening in your brain, and then you are looking for conclusion to that train of thought. What does it mean? Why is it here? And then you create a certain meaning, or you decide it means certain thing, and whether you like it or not, you try to modify the effect of the thought on your life as you see it and imagine it. It has a certain effect, that thought, on the quality or the pathway of your life. And then you want to modify that effect in your mind about the thought. And that's why you're hoping for a certain conclusion to your satisfaction, which, because it's virtual and it's not actual and it hasn't happened, it doesn't exist, it's all imaginative, that solution that you come up with, if you come up with, is not permanent and it doesn't modify anything, because the brain creates again the same thought without the modification that you just made in it. And then you have to keep making the modification over and over. It's a never ending story. So the best thing to do for you is to say, I don't give a shit. I don't care to modify, fix, or repair any result because of appearance of this certain thought in my mind, in my head. I don't care about. I don't want to fix anything. I don't want to know where it ends, what it leads, what effect it has on my life. I just don't care about thoughts and following the meaning or interpretation of these thoughts. I just let them be, and I focus on what it is that I choose to focus based on what it is that I want to accomplish on that given day. And your focus becomes in the moment and for accomplishments of what it is that you've set out to accomplish on that particular project, on that particular day, on that particular hour, on that particular moment. So you would have your focus on the moment, on the effort that you're making in that moment, because that's the only actuality that exists. The thoughts that show up and appear in your head, whether you want to see how to modify them, whether you like the results and effects of them on you or not, are irrelevant. Those thoughts don't exist, don't have any power, can't do anything as long as you don't engage with them. When you engage with them, then you're giving them a life, you're giving them a certain kind of a character. And then that affect or seeing the result of that kind of a train of thoughts on your life could create anxiety, fear, and fear of what it could mean, what it could do. And then you want to fix that up, and you'll be busy with constantly trying to refute that, destroy that, and get rid of that image, get rid of that thoughts, because you find it not positive, you find it detrimental to your what it is that you want to accomplish, and so on and so forth. So the best thing to do is that you ignore the thoughts and just focus on what it is you want to accomplish in that moment. That's my opinion about that, but it's not a medical opinion. I'm not a medical doctor. I don't have any medical qualifications. So therefore, talk to your psychologist, psychotherapist, and ask them that question. Let them to help you. Fiesta, I think my answer that I just gave to unstoppable force, it suits your question as well. Fiesta says, I'm female, 20, and from Philippines. Yeah, I think what I just said seems like to be appropriate as a opinion of mine about your question as well, Fiesta. I will upload this naturally in the next couple of hours when it's processed, and you will have access to all what we talked about here. And Wesha Bardhan says, female, 30, India, says, I think some of my good... Oh, hang on. Chuckster is here first. Chuckster says 37, male, Pennsylvania. Is that, did I remember it right? Let me go back. Is it Pennsylvania, Chuckster? Yeah, it is. Okay. 37, male, Pennsylvania. Chuckster says 37, male, Pennsylvania. Whenever they invent teleportation, I hope you'll come visit me, vice versa. But please call before. I may not be home. They probably never will. So hopefully we're pals in the afterlife. I bet you get up to some crazy high jinks. I bet you get up. I don't know what that means, but okay. uh, Fiesta says, thank you, sir. You're quite welcome, Fiesta. That was like two birds with one stone, because that discussion that I just had in regards to Brandon's question seems like it fits the answer as an answer to your question as well. So, and Washa says, female 30, India. I think some of my good feelings got fused with my intrusive thoughts. And now whenever I get a good feeling, an intrusive thought pops up, and vice versa. Sometimes intrusive thought pops up, but sometimes you actually allow intrusive thought pops up by focusing on looking for it. Is there intrusive thought? Should there not be an intrusive thought? Because there has always been intrusive thought. So you kind of, think that, because you think when the intrusive thought shows up, okay, it showed up, now I get rid of it, or whatever it is, I do my regimen, and now I'm okay, I'm safe. Okay, I don't have to deal with it anymore. So you kind of encourage intrusive thought to show up, so you can kind of have it shown up, and then you pass by it. That certain kind of a expectation is not the way to deal with it. You actually should say, I don't care if it shows up or not. Whether it does or not, I ignore it. It's not like some kind of a ritual that you should follow when it shows up. So you're looking to see it shows up or not. And because you're looking to see it, it might show up. You're giving it the opportunity. Anwasha says, I've got to the point where I'm unable to feel any good emotion or sensation without some sexual or emotional intrusive thoughts popping up. Can't understand what's my own thoughts and what's my OCD. All thoughts that you question, they're not your thoughts. When there's an awareness of a contradiction between a thought appearing in your head and who you are and what you are, what your preference is, your values and your choices, then that means that thought has nothing to do with you. It's irrelevant. Because if there was no contradiction, there would be no awareness. If there is an awareness of a contradiction between a thought and your values, then that simply means that's not your thought. Because if it was your thought, there would be no contradiction. And because there would be no contradiction, there would be no awareness or alertness about a thought that is not in line with my values showed up. Because why? If it's in line with my values, there's no awareness, because there's no contradiction between what the thought suggests and what my values are. So every time that you notice a contradiction, you become aware of a contradiction, the awareness is telling you that you should ignore this thought because there's an awareness of a contradiction, which means that thought is not you. It's got nothing to do with you. If it did, you wouldn't question it. You wouldn't be aware of such separation of values. All right. I hope that helps you out. Rahul says, what are your hobbies and likes apart from love for tea? You play guitar very well. No, I haven't played for ages, and I don't play very well anymore. I do play some here and there. I haven't played for a while. Excuse me. Yeah, and I bought and played a few days, and it didn't open since then. Yeah, I know, because it's very difficult to play guitar, especially at the beginning, because you got to put your fingering right on the frets and then hold it balanced enough so the other uh, finger, when it strumbles on the string, it makes a clear noise. And if your other hand that is holding the frets is not really doing a good job, it will have a you know uh, a weird song, like it resonates weird, or it thumps. It doesn't really sound. You know, the acoustic wouldn't work properly. So it's very difficult because there's two hands involved, and there has to be a certain kind of a pressure and certain kind of a methodical movement in order to follow the certain to create the sound of the note on every fret. But if it was piano, at least you could hear the clear sound when you play on the keys. Then you could figure out maybe which key, which note after which note would be sounding pleasant, and it would be easy to figure it out. In a way, it's piano is not easy either. But I'm saying in comparison to the beginning of guitar, it's easier to make a sound out of piano, where guitar would be rather challenging because you got to properly get that sound to come out. My hobbies, I like workout in the gym. Um, since childhood, my one of the most, I guess, claim to fame is equestrian, jumping with horses, training with horses. I have won many championships in my youth and also in adult. One highlight was it was a national championship, 64 riders. It took four jump offs, and it took till about 1 on 1 plus a.m. in the morning, from 8 o'clock at night to 1 a.m. for this round to finish. And 64 riders, 32 went clear. And it was one of the most difficult styles of obstacles for horses to jump, because horses would follow, jump, and they go many gallops to the next, they're steered to the next, and they jump on that. And they have the time to figure out what kind of style, what kind of jumping, what kind of a distance before they push the horse to go up. But this particular one had no chance. Like, if you have one or two fence obstacles right after each other, your horse, as one unit of jump, your horse has only a chance to go up the first one, come down, 1, 2, gallop, and then must go up. There's no more maneuvering distance. That's a very difficult jump, like 2 at a row. And if it's 3, then you got to go up the first one, down, 1, 2, up, then the second one down, 1, 2, up, that the third one. Now, imagine if this is 6 of them, and your horse has no chance to go anywhere. You have no calculation of any kind to have a leisure distance to figure out things. You got to go steady as she goes from beginning to an end, while every single one of them is going higher than the one before. And so we had 4 jump offs, because the first 64, I was number 64. 34 of them went clear. I was number 34. The fences went up, and then out of the obstacles went higher, and out of that 34, 24 went clear. I was number 24. Then again, they went higher. 12 went clear. I was number 12. Then went higher. 4 went clear, and I was number 4. And then they went higher, and only 1 went clear. That was me. And my horse was actually oldest horse that night. My horse was 18 years old at the time. But yet we beat the crap out of all the $1 million horses together. And one thing for sure I want to bring to your attention, that the night before, I was sitting beside the pool of my teacher, instructor, colonel, because his house was close to the club. And so when we finished training, his wife was always gracious, and his children were like my brothers and sisters. We would have dinner. And that night, because of the competition, I stayed there. So they had a pool, and it was summertime, and the sky of Tehran is beautiful with lots of stars. So I sat by the pool for an hour, and I meditated. I visualized myself and my horse. How are we going to be together spiritually? I visualized everything. The universe and I are one. My horse and I, universe, are one unit. And I enjoyed that meditation, a long meditation. And sure enough, tomorrow, the next day, the first competition, I actually got kicked out because we had some kind of a trainer to help the kids. He had taken the liberty and we wove the the mane of my horse and the tail, which my horse never was used to that. And it's the worst thing to do on the competition day, do something new with the horse, especially something that he's never had. And I hated that. But I guess that was a tradition for where he come from. He was an American rider, and he was hired to help around. But we were not his students. But he happened to arrange that. He probably wanted to beautify my horse. But when I first saw it, I said, "Oh God, why did you do this?" Anyhow, we go in, and the horse was uncomfortable because he was shaking his head because it had never been braided here. So I stopped 3 times on the first round of a different kind of a competition on the same day, started early. And I came out and immediately I took all these things out of the mane and I got in an argument with that this, assistant coach. And so I was very angry that why you touched my horse? Why did you do this? This should not have happened. So I opened all that and my horse went, it's like, I'm free. Thank you, Mehran. Then the next round was a different competition, was this tough one. Boy, we had it all sewn up. It was just as one. Amazing. Anyhow, it took me back so many years. And where were we? Yes, this is thank you, sir. Okay, and so that's some of things about my hobby, and the other things like tennis was my hobby, running, refereeing soccer games. I have over 600, 700 games I refereed for boys teams, high school teams, women's teams, leagues, men's leagues, women's leagues. That was a while ago, maybe 10 years ago. I haven't done that since then. What else? Martial arts, Aikido, of course, and many things, walking by the beach at night times and researching and learning, all my hobbies. And Anvesha says, thank you so much. You have helped me immensely. You're quite welcome, Anvesha. I appreciate it. Promote the channel as the payment. And Chuck says, 37 Male, Pennsylvania says, I actually have a serious question for once. I don't believe it. Go ahead, by all means. Says, I know you've overcome OCD. Do you still have to maintain a certain amount of discipline in order to identify obsessive thoughts? No, because it's part of life. You notice it. And when you notice it, you quickly deal with it because it's automatic now. It's like the jig is up. You know what it is. You don't get bamboozled anymore. I know that. It's like you see a bad energy of people. You're very expert in knowing the quality of energy of the people. I mostly understand people's energy better than their facial expressions or their intentions or their words or judge them from their behavior. It's easier for me to see their energy, feel their energy, and that already puts me ahead in how I should be managing or dealing this interaction with this person. Because often you don't have a chance to have talk with them or get to know them to find out what their true intention is in that business or in that interaction, whatever it is. But when you feel the energy, because they have no choice, they cannot hold their energy. Energy in every human being is something that is always extending outwardly from that human being. So whether they want it or not, that energy with the quality that it has, that has been affected, having passing through one end of the universe, coming passing through them when you're present in in that vicinity, and then the energy you receive from them is the energy that's already passed through them and has changed its quality before it entered their existence from the universe. So when it's exiting, you feel the quality of the energy, and if it's shitty, you can feel it clearly, and then quickly you know who you're dealing with. So same thing with thoughts. When you already know, there's no question in your mind to be bamboozled, not bamboozled. When you know it's a bad character of person, there's no question in your mind if you want to be friend with them or not. And if the quality of the thought is clear, that it's the awareness tells you there's a contradiction between who you are and what this thought is suggesting, or the image or whatever it is, it's not in line with your values, then naturally you automatically to attend to it, manage it the way that you know you're supposed to manage with the OCD or any kind of intrusive thoughts. And to get rid of them, simply you don't get rid of them. They're there. They're part of life. You just ignore them. You get rid of all the bad people that you meet in the street. You go in to do something. You go out in the street to do shopping or whatever it is you want to do, your work. You're bound to know. You definitely know there are lots of shitty people. So what do? You destroy them all before you go out. No, you're aware that they're there. Yeah. So you don't stop them. You don't get rid of them. You don't kill them. So what do? You ignore them, and you go about where you got to go, what your intention is, and where that intention would be fulfilled, the quality of the intention. All right, I hope that answers your question somewhat. And Electroneo says, Meran, sir, says, I struggle with OCD dreams, and in my dreams, I really feel like I enjoy it. Well, that's a dream. In dreams, we get scared, fearful, enjoy, but that's a dream. It's not a reality. Sometimes don't you wake up and say some kind of a weird dream and say, and then you say, hey, easy, easy. It was a dream. It has got no reality. But just because the brain has no actuality to it, so to the brain, virtuality and actuality seems to be the same. It reacts in the same way. So virtuality and dream is also the same effect on the brain. The brain doesn't say, oh, this is a dream, I shouldn't be paying attention to it. Or when I'm awake, but there was a virtuality and a thought there, well, I react to it. Or this is actual and actually happening, I react to it. It reacts in pretty much the same way, but it's actual, virtual, or dream. But you think because you were not awake when this kind of a scenario showed up in the dream, then it must mean something. No, whether you're awake or not awake, it's the brain's function. It's got nothing to do with you. Whether you're awake and virtually the brain conjures up some shit and reacts to it, or makes your body react to something about it, or makes you feel a certain way, feared, anxious, anxiety, whatever it is, like it, not like it, or whether it's actual or whether it's dream, it's all the same to the brain, and it's all irrelevant to you, other than the one that you choose to bring to action, to actuality. All right. No. Instead of thinking that now I'm afraid that I'm lying to myself, just focus on the fact that their dream has no credibility. The fact is, you're giving credibility to the virtuality of the brain involvement in some kind of a thought, and you give credibility to a dream that somehow has affected you while you're asleep and you're not conscious to have anything to do with it. And then instead, you're doubting yourself. How unrealistic is that? You give reality to the unreality. You give reality to the dream as if they have any kind of a credibility. But then you take the credibility away from you and say, oh, then I'm lying to myself. Well, why should you be lying? All those things are lies. Simple. You're not even there. All right. Yeah. Okay. Rahul says, "You're a great athlete, sir. Love for gym and this age is very inspiring. Also, you're always cheerful and enjoy life." Well, there's no other choice. You get a better mood and reaction by being gloomy. There's enough things to make us sad and upset. I don't need to add anything to it. So, as much as I possibly can, try to find something that can, go with the flow of the universe. All right. TC says, "Sir, I get anxiety attacks frequently. So I'm unable to be courageous to meet my would be in laws because my father used to say, if you behave like this, your mother in law will punish you and blah, blah, blah. Are you married? First, could you tell me your age and if you're married? And then we'll talk about this, TC. And your age, gender, and where you're tuning in from, and if you're married, and all that." And Resha says, "Your horse was like you. Now you're beating the crap out of everyone's OCD." Good for you. Thank you for that. I love you too. And thank you for sharing that. And thank you for enjoying the channel and the discussions and that the videos are helpful to you. Mark Ong says, "How long does it take to get over the ex?" Well, it depends how fast you want to get over her. I mean, it's up to you. You want to hang around? Well, then you hang around and you submerge yourself in the sadness of, oh, why she's not with me? Because she is what makes me to be who I am. That's a fucking bullshit. And if you want to think that way, then you might as well just go, I don't know, jump in the lake. Not literally, just a joke. So it's up to you. You decide. You want to enjoy what life has to give you, then you got to move on. You can't get your boat to other islands as long as you have it tied to the dock. You have to cut that rope and then start rowing to the next destination. Beautiful trees, tropical island, beautiful girls, beautiful opportunities, and you go. You cannot go as long as you're stuck here. Oh, I love her. Oh, she left me. Oh, okay. So what? If she can do it, you can do it. What's wrong with you? How long it takes? There's no rule to it. It takes as long as you want it, as short as you want it. And TC says, "Sir, I'm 28, female, unmarried. So if you're unmarried, why are you worried about meeting the in-laws? What's wrong with you? Hmm? And what do you think the in-laws are? What? What have they done to be such a wow? Hold your ground. She says there is this phobia of my future in-laws in me. Phobia. How true is phobia? Where is the evidence that this phobia is true? If you be a pussycat, they will shit all over your head. If you stand your ground, and according to your culture, I can't say anything about that. You're pleasant and cordial at the same time, serious, attending to your business, attending to your responsibilities, duties. Nobody can give you shit. And if they do, well, they look foolish because you're like a Swiss watch. You're doing a great job, whatever your responsibilities are. But, and where you from, TC? I need that. You didn't tell me that. You know, when you have anxieties, that means there's nothing bad is happening. Because if something bad is happening, You wouldn't be anxious about it. You'd be dealing with it. So when you're anxious, have anxiety about something, that means nothing has happened, that you actually anticipate something bad happen. That's what the anxiety is. Anticipation of something that you do not want to happen. But if it is happening, there is no anticipation for something to be happening because it's happening. So when it's happening, there's no anxiety. So as long as there is an anxiety, that means everything is hunky-dory and everything is balanced and everything is fine and there is no threat of any kind. So in fact, if you're anxious, that means you're safe. If you look at it that way. So she says, I'm from India. Yeah, okay. Yeah, what is it that they want to do? Are they going to kill you? What happens? You're so hung up that to be loved and liked and given the kudos of someone in-laws to say, oh, she's a good girl, and suddenly you're a good girl because you're a good mate or good little girl. Oh yes, this person said I'm a good man, my mother-in-law or father-in-law. You be good because of your standards, because what you think good is, and then nobody can pick on you. I don't know what your tradition is there, but some things I don't like about many different cultures, and something about that in India. I don't like how much pressure they put on a new bride, and she's trying to, I don't know, measure up to their expectations, and it just goes a little overboard, and I don't like that. So you attend to what you think is right to attend, and nobody would ever dare to say anything bad about you. And meeting in-laws, who are they? Gods? If you educate yourself and have a good career, that you make money for yourself, then you will be safe and not be afraid of what they think of you, because what they think of you, the reason it bothers you is because you think that they may not like you, and they may, they may actually have I don't know, the guy divorce you. But when you're making money and economically independent, have a good job, then they cannot threaten you. You will not be afraid of whoever leaves you or doesn't leave you or divorce you or not divorce you. You're independent. You can make your life go. You're not needy of anything from them. And they will respect you because you're someone who's busy. The rest of it is your cultural thing. I can't help you with that. You got to figure that out. But worrying about something that hasn't happened is really not going to be beneficial to you. You don't have in-laws right now. Are you anxious? First of all, see if they're qualified to be your in-laws. If they're good enough to have your, grace of your, your attention to them. So don't think that you have to qualify. They have to qualify as well. So choose well. Rahul says, sir, I have purchased gift but not send gift to my daughter because I want to call and speak with my wife, which I didn't want to do at present. Want to wait. Why? If it's for your daughter, send the gift. Why do you have to talk to your wife? Just send the gift to your daughter with a nice card to your daughter. Say, daughter, I love you. I miss you. I'm always here. If you ever needed me, let me know. Mom will help you to call me. If there is anything, that mom needs, you let me know. I'll try to do my best. Don't talk to her, but talk to your daughter. Send the gift. What are you waiting for? The child is not going to wait until you fix it up with the woman. All right, guys. TC says, thank you very much for your guidance. You're quite welcome, TC. Be good to yourself always. Guys, it's been 2 hours. It was supposed to be 1 hour, but here it is. So it's time for me to say I love you all. Thank you very much for being here, giving me the opportunity to share a thing or two with you. Tomorrow at 1 p.m. Vancouver time, we'll have, hopefully on time, if not, I'm sleeping probably. We'll have another live stream, and hopefully we'll join together there. If not you guys, maybe some other people. And in the meantime, be good to yourself. To the others, I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now. Subscribe on my channel, visit my channel, and go through the videos that you might be interested in. Mindthatseekstruth.com is making it one step away to talk to me one-on-one on Skype and discuss what's concerning you. I'll talk to you soon.